Hey folks, it is Lee from the Upper Darby Township Library, and it is STEM Shenanigans time. Today we are going to be talking about and making magnetic slime. So if you have a kit, then you have pretty much all the materials that you're going to need. I'm going to tell you what else you'll need to gather real quick. If you don't have a kit, it might be tricky for you to make magnetic slime from home because you probably won't have a key ingredient, but you maybe can still make slime. So the ingredients that we have here that are going to be for our slime are borax, which you may have for your laundry, and Elmer's school glue, right? It looks like this. You can also use wood glue, but to be honest, I haven't tested out the ratios, so I don't want to tell you to use wood glue, but if you have wood glue and you don't have regular Elmer's glue and you want to try the wood glue, do it. But if you've got a kit, then you've got those two materials, and you've also got the key ingredient for making it magnetic, which is iron oxide powder. Other things that you will need include something to put down on your surface so you don't get it slimy. This is really important, y'all. This is gonna be messy. I will tell you that once your slime turns into slime, it's a lot less messy, but the process of making it is gonna be pretty messy. Your kits also came with a pair of gloves. I recommend using them because otherwise you're gonna get black slime in your cuticles and under your fingernails, and you may or may not want that. If you don't care, then that's fine. It's not toxic. None of these things are toxic. None of them are gonna hurt you. So if you don't wanna wear gloves and you just wanna have messy hands for a few days, that's fine. You're also gonna need a couple of bowls for mixing. You can totally use bowls that you can wash out because this will wash out. I will tell you that my plastic measuring spoon does have some black residue from the iron, so you may or may not want to use something plastic that you have to reuse, or you just might want to be super careful about washing it really promptly. But your mileage may vary in terms of that, in terms of how much you care about that. But if you've got like a metal measuring spoon, then you might want to go for that. But if all you've got is a plastic one, you can totally use it. Just wash it quickly. I will say that the first time I tried this, I didn't get any black residue, but I think I washed it more promptly. So just be careful of that. You'll probably want a spoon for just like mixing. I have a disposable spoon right here. You can use that, or you can use a metal spoon, and again, just wash it. In your kit, you've also got a magnet, or rather, you will notice that you have a stack of lots of little magnets. A couple of warnings about these, right? I usually have to give this is going to be messy warning, but I usually don't have to give be careful of your electronics warning. These are really strong magnets. Don't get them near your computer. Don't get them super close to your phone or your credit card because it will mess them up potentially. So just be careful of that. And also, they're strong. Don't pinch yourself with them or try to put them up your nose because they are strong. And they will pinch you or travel up your nose. So don't do it. So in addition to your measuring spoon, you'll probably need a 1/4 cup measure. I've got this one right here. Again, all of this stuff will wash out. All the ingredients will wash out individually. The slime itself will wash off of things. So don't freak out and be like, oh my God, my mom's gonna kill me if I get her measuring cup messed up, because you totally can wash it. Just wash it. Don't make your mom wash it, right? Okay, and then you'll need warm water. I have right here an insulated coffee cup of warm water because I don't have a sink up here, but if you've got a sink, just run some warm water when it gets to the time. Okay, so that's all we've got, right? All right, so we're gonna get started, and then we're gonna talk after we make our slime about like what makes slime special, or maybe I'll talk as I'm doing it. But let's go ahead and get started. So first, I'm gonna do my borax, okay? And you mix 1/8 of a teaspoon of borax, so a very small amount. I'm just gonna eyeball it because I don't have 1/8 of a teaspoon measure, but if you have like a 1/4 teaspoon measure, use like a half of that, or if you have like a half a teaspoon, use a 1/4 of that. You don't need much borax at all. And you wanna mix that with a 1/4 cup, so like this much, warm water. You want it to be warm, or hot is probably fine also, but warm water so that it will dissolve. Now, don't like drive yourself up the wall, like it doesn't have to be completely dissolved. Mine was like mostly dissolved when I did it last time, so you're gonna be fine if it's mostly dissolved. Just like get it as dissolved as you possibly can without like getting obsessive about it. Okay, so we're gonna do that in this cup so you can see it as it dissolves. So I've got my borax, and again, I'm just gonna eyeball it, but I've done this a couple of times, so I sort of know what 1/8 of a teaspoon looks like. It's less than that. It's probably less than that. All right, so it's like probably like about like that. All right, so I'm gonna put that in my cup so you can see it in there, and then I'm gonna do my 1/4 cup of warm water. Okay, there we go. Okay, so I'm gonna mix that up with my spoon. Stir, stir, stir. Again, you just wanna get the borax as dissolved as you can. There will be some residue. Don't worry about it, it's gonna be fine. And this doesn't have to stay warm after it's mixed. The warmth really is just to be able to dissolve the borax. So if it gets cool while you're doing the glue part, don't worry about it, it's fine. All right, so that's pretty well dissolved. I got it pretty well dissolved there. Good. I'm gonna do my glue now. So I'm gonna do, again, a 1/4 cup of water, and I'm gonna do mine in this bowl here. Again, I'm just using disposable ones because that's what I've got. If you've got disposable, great, fine. If you don't, it's okay because it really will wash out. Again, you wanna wash it pretty promptly. Don't like let it sit there all day because then you will have a problem, but it will wash out. Okay, so I've got a 1/4 cup of water. Okay, and I'm gonna mix that with a 1/4 cup of glue. All right, there we go. Great. Glue. I'm gonna dump that in, and I'm gonna use my spoon again just to get it all out. All right, so right now it looks like, well, I'm not really gonna be able to, not really gonna be able to tip that up, am I? It's gonna make a big mess, so I'm gonna, oh, you see my hand there a lot, but where's my bowl? Ha ha ha, it's right here. There we go. So it looks like that, pretty clumpy and gross, but I'm gonna stir it up and it's gonna come together. I'll put this back on my glue, just so it's out of my way. All right, great. So stir, stir, stir. It's gonna feel like it's not working, but it will. Just give it a couple of minutes of stirring. I remember the first time I did this, I was like, oh my God, this is just gonna be clumpy forever, but it's not. Don't worry. You'll get there. Keep stirring, keep stirring. Keep stirring. I know it's still clumpy. Keep stirring. All right, almost there. Okay, so at this point, once you've got your glue mixed in, you want to mix in your iron oxide. And you don't want to breathe this stuff in, so don't like dump it from up here. I don't know why you would, but don't. You just want to like dump it from down here so that there isn't a lot of like dust that gets in the air. It's not a big deal, but it's like not awesome to breathe in a ton of it. If you have asthma or something and like want to be super careful, you can put on a mask. You probably have some laying around your house. So if you want to take a minute and go get a mask, if you want to be super careful. But again, like we're mixing it in at this point because it's going to mix with the glue pretty easily and not cause a lot of dust in the air, right? So you want 2 tablespoons of iron oxide. So I've got my bag here. And in your kits, I gave you a little bit of extra of everything just in case you needed to like tweak something. If something like wasn't quite working and you wanted to like see what could fix it. I gave you a little bit of extra of everything. So actually do measure because your kits are not exactly measured. They're like a little bit of extra. All right, so, all right, come on. There we go. 1 tablespoon. Just gonna pour it in. Oh, you know what? I was gonna. It is time for me to put in my gloves because you can see my hands are getting dirty already. And 1 more tablespoon. There we go. And this ingredient is the thing that is going to make our slime magnetic, which is going to be super cool, y'all. All right, so I'm just going to knock off my hands a little bit. And again, not a super big deal. This will wash off. Like, I've done this several times this week. My hands are not covered in black. It will wash off. But if you want to put on gloves so it doesn't get all in your cuticles, I support that. I'm going to do that now. The gloves that I sent you home with are not latex, so if anybody has a latex allergy, these are vinyl gloves. You can wear them. If you don't have a kit yet and you want to do this in the future, I'm going to post a video of this when I'm done, and you can come get a kit from the library anytime. For the next like week or so, we should have some. We'll have them until supplies run out. So right now, it looks like this, right? Clumpy, but the glue is mixed in, all right? So now we're gonna mix in the iron, and it's gonna look kind of like cookies and cream ice cream. Like it's not gonna be a solid color, even after it's all the way mixed in, until we put in the borax, and it's gonna like miraculously turn black, which is kind of amazing. But mix, 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 get it as smooth as you can. But like, don't worry if there's some clumps, but mix it as good as you can. Yeah, so once it's like kind of a dark gray cookies and cream, but fairly uniform cookies and cream as opposed to like giant clumps of cookies, then you've got it to where you want it. I'll show you in a second once I've got mine good. All right, so that is about what it should look like, okay? Oh, spilling on the table already. But again, it'll come up, so I'm gonna clean it up as soon as I'm done here. All right, so now you mix in your borax mixture, okay? So again, I'm just gonna take my cup and I'm gonna pour it all in. And this should be the right ratio, okay? So pour it in, start to stir, and it should pretty quickly start to become something else, aka slime. All right, so even though I'm like just starting to mix, it's already starting to coalesce in the middle, which is amazing. So keep mixing. Isn't that cool? Look at that. It's like starting to turn into slime. Amazing. All right, so once it's pretty well turned into slime, you're gonna pick it up. This is why we're wearing gloves, because you're gonna pick it up. You're gonna smoosh it off the spoon and pick it up and knead it like dough. And it's gonna be super sticky at first, okay? It just is. But give it a minute and keep going, and it's gonna turn into slime. I told y'all this was gonna be messy. Just keep going. I hope you have your gloves on. So, now let's talk about slime. What makes slime special? Slime, you may have heard referred to as a non-Newtonian substance or a non-Newtonian fluid. What does that mean? Well, Newtonian fluids are like water or juice or things like that that are like regular fluids, right? Like, or regular solids, like, you know, a blade of grass or something that pretty much retains its viscosity, or how much of a solid, or like how much it flows, no matter how much you stir it or shake it, right? Like, water might get more solid if you get it colder, right? It might become more of a gas if you get it a lot hotter and then it all evaporates, right? I'm going to take off my gloves, actually, because this is not coming together quite the way I want it to. And I wonder if the gloves are affecting that. But I'm going to make sure that I put my gloves on my on my surface here. This is very sticky. And this is why you put a tarp down. This is very sticky. All right, let me see. I'm gonna keep stirring with my hands as I'm talking. Right, but you can shake water all day long and it's not gonna turn into ice, right? And that's because it's a Newtonian fluid, right? It's like a normal fluid. Slime is like kind of between a fluid and a solid, right? And the more you stir it or like agitate it, the more solid it gets. And if you like leave it alone, it'll kind of flow like that. So that's cool. And that's what we mean when people say non-Newtonian fluid or non-Newtonian substance, because it doesn't follow the Newtonian laws of physics, which are named after Sir Isaac Newton, if you weren't sure. So this is not doing what I want it to do. I'm wondering why that is. This should be coalescing into a ball, but it's not. And I practiced this before, y'all. I don't usually even practice, but I did this time. I got slime earlier this week. Let's see. If it's too sticky, maybe I need more borax. I don't even have any paper towels up here, y'all. That was a great oversight. Okay. Well, it's real sticky. love to know what y'alls are doing at home. I hope that they are acting right for you, because this definitely should be like coalescing into something that doesn't seem like it's taking over my body. This is more like horror slime that's like gonna take over me. All right, so I'm just gonna get this messy and reach for the borax with my slimy hands, because there's nothing else I can do at this point. I don't have paper towels. Y'all, that was a mistake. But here we are. This is why we call it STEM Shenanigans, isn't it? Because there's always some kind of shenanigans, like slime that takes over. All right, we're just gonna do this. All right. Yep, there's nothing for it. Nothing to do about it, but just go for it. There's no more borax in there. Okay. All right. Here we go. Wishing me luck. Whew. Oh God. Don't get it on the carpet. Don't get it on the carpet, y'all. Just don't get it on the carpet. You can get it on a surface that is hard and flat and smooth. Don't get it on the carpet. Hopefully I'm not telling you that too late. God, that's way too much borax. Okay. That's all right. I just need to have a smidge of it. This is absurd. This is really absurd, guys. All right, so I'm just gonna do like a smidgen of borax, and oh God, I'm gonna have to touch my water container. Well, it is what it is. R.I.P. water container. I feel like there's some sort of like evil slime spider that's taken over this experiment at this point, because there's just like failed slime literally everywhere. All right, here we go. Let's see what this does. All right, let's stir and see what we get. So far I have, oh, that might be doing it. That might have done it. Let's see. It feels better, I think. I can't let go of the spoon. All right, let's see. Do you want to turn into slime for me, buddy? So it is displaying that property of like becoming more firm as I stir it with my hands, which is cool. So that's better. This is definitely more like slime. You can tell because it can come off of my hand now, and isn't like just like sticking to everything it touches completely. I'm actually gonna mix it a little bit better in with the borax mixture that I just put in there, because I didn't mix it completely because I didn't want it to get too firm. We're gonna, oh yeah, that's definitely better. Moving in the right direction, because I can like take it off of my hands a little bit. It keeps sticking from like one finger to the other, but it like comes off better. You see, like it's not completely on my hands now. All right, so let's mix this a little bit better and see if we can get it even more malleable. All right, here we go. I think this is gonna work. Oh yeah, that's looking better. It's like coming off the sides of the bowl, which is exactly what I want. All right, cool. All right, great. Great. All right. Okay. I think we're pretty close to having what we want here. All right. All right, let's just mush this around a little bit more. See what we get. Come on. So this is definitely better. Maybe my like eyeballing of the borax was not quite enough, which that's what happens when you eyeball something, isn't it? Sometimes you don't get the right measurement. I feel like, well, okay, here is, whoa. So yeah, this is what I'm talking about, that like the part that I'm mushing together with my hands is like staying pretty firm and in my hands. But the part that's like, yeah, but then I leave it alone and it totally rolls off because it like becomes more liquidy as you leave it alone. Now, that's within reason. Like if you leave it overnight, it's going to get a film on it. You know, so if you want to play with it for more than one day, you might want to like put it in a baggie or something, or like put it in a bowl with foil, or not foil, but like run like plastic wrap over it so that it doesn't dry out, because it will dry out over time. But here's what we're going to do now. I'm going to break out my magnets. But first, actually, what we're going to talk about real quick first is like, why does slime work? And like, why these ingredients? And it's like it's a chemical reaction. It's not just like mixing mud like with like dirt and water that turns into mud. That's like a third substance. It's like an actual chemical reaction that happens. I'm going to put this as much as I can back in the bowl so I can stir it up a little bit better and maybe get a little bit more borax even. But you see how it's like coming off my fingers better now than it was before. It's not actually attaching itself to literally everything. But so there's a monomer, a single monomer in, which is like a molecule in glue that just repeats itself over and over and turns into like a polymer that just like runs in a straight line. And that's why glue is more of a liquid, right? It just like runs over itself. But when you add the borax, and there's other substances that you can use in it, you know, instead of borax. Some slime recipes called for liquid starch, which has a similar molecule in it. I think it's called like a borate or something. I couldn't get the liquid starch recipe to work as well, and so that's why I switched to borax, and immediately had better results. But what happens is that it makes the glue polymer stick to itself, or like attach across the polymer. Instead of being in a straight line, then it sort of like attaches back and forth like a ladder, if that makes sense. And so it becomes less liquid, becomes more of a solid. And so that's why when I was like, oh, this is still too like liquidy and not attaching to itself properly, I was like, I need to add more borax because I need it to attach to itself better and not attach to me as much. So that's why that works, because you're adding more of that chemical that makes the glue polymer stick to itself better. All right, so we're gonna add a scooch more borax mixture. And maybe I can just swirl that around, get it to work. Maybe not. All right, come on, spoon. So my borax is not dissolving as well as it did before because my water has cooled off a little bit. Again, that's fine. This is about the amount of dissolving that I had the other day when I did this, and it worked out just fine. So I'm gonna add more borax. All right, and stir. massaging this and see if it helps. I might have added too much liquid. And it might have been because the borax wasn't dissolved, so I might just add some powdered borax and see if that helps. If you have good slime and you would like to play with your magnets, go for it. It's really cool. I'm going to spend a couple more minutes trying to get better slime. And if not, I'll just go with what I've got here on my newspaper, because that's pretty decent slime. But this is actually coming together a little bit once I got it out of the water and mushed it up a bit. So again, that's what I mean. Like, it turns more viscous or less runny the more you play with it. See, now that's slime. So, you know, like, I smush it in my hand and it like coalesces into a ball pretty well, right? But then I can just leave it alone and it'll run through my fingers. And it's picking up the other bits off my hand, see? So that's what I meant when I was like, it's not going to stain you forever, right? It'll come off. But you will be messy in the meantime. But also, if you didn't want to take off your gloves, I respect that, because not everybody wants to look like they got slimed by the swamp thing. All right, so now I have slime. It's not a very big ball, because I had to keep adjusting it, but I've got slime. And now we get to play with it. So I'm going to, let's see, I think I'm going to put it, this glove is very stuck. I'm going to put it on top of this newspaper, and I just know that part of it's going to stick to the newspaper, and that's just how that's going to be. But you're totally going to be able to see the cool stuff that it's doing. All right, so you guys can see that. I'm going to back it up a little bit so you can see it a little bit better. Okay, I'm going to break out my magnet. Now, the reason why we use this super heavy duty magnet is because, like, a regular refrigerator magnet won't make enough of a reaction. You know, this isn't solid metal, so it's not going to react to it. But it does have enough iron in it that it will react with a really heavy duty magnet. But let's see. I'm just going to break my magnet like in half, roughly, and see if that's enough to do it. Watch. Did you see it jump up? It was really subtle. But look, watch. Isn't that cool? And it keeps climbing. There's more and more slime coming up onto the magnet. It's slow. You can't see it visibly happening, but you can probably tell that there's a lot more slime on the magnet now than there was when I first put it down there. Like, there was none. Isn't that amazing? I put it down in there so that it can, like, do even more. And it just, like, slowly but surely, it'll keep climbing. Check it out. Isn't that cool? I'm going to use my other half a magnet. Whoa! So it's not doing this because slime is sticky. It's doing this because there's metal in the slime. Like, you can see it jumping to it, right? I just think this is so fun. And another cool thing you can do is, oh, stick it together. But you can also like set the magnet down in the slime and it will eat the magnet because there's metal all around it. It just will eat it. Especially if you have a bigger glob of slime. But like even with my tiny one, like look, the magnet's almost all gone already. It was just like 10 seconds ago. I'm not touching my phone with these hands right now. Nope. Sorry about it. Actually, well, my fingertips are pretty okay, actually. So I'm gonna take my phone's life into its hands, and so you can see closer up. Check it out. So cool. Anyway. That is our slime fun for today. I hope that you enjoyed it as much as I did. I hope your slime worked out. If it didn't, keep trying. If it's too sticky and runny, add borax. If it's too stringy, add glue. Because this is super fun. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed STEM Shenanigans, and I will see you back next month. This summer, June, July, and August, we will be having in-person STEM Shenanigans, so stay tuned for that. But next month we will be virtual again, so I will see you on the internets. Have a great rest of your day and your week, and I will see you later. And again, if you didn't get a kit yet, come by and get one at the library, because we have some. Take care, y'all.